you, ma'am?
Can I help you?
Pardon?
Well, I suppose we can all be of help in some way, some existential this or that. I need help. You need help. My mother needs help. I could take $100 from my pocket and give it to you right now.
Yeah, well, is that help?
No, I suppose it isn't.
Don't get me wrong. I got the hustler's blood in me. If you're giving, I'm grabbing.
Very well then.
I appreciate the generosity of being Christmas and all.
Sorry I couldn't be of any help.
Well, I wasn't looking for any, honey. What brings you around the Christmas tree farm today?
Well, I suppose the obvious answer would be that I'm looking for a tree for the season.
Yes, that would be the obvious answer.
It's not the truth. The obvious answer seldom is, in my experience. No, I'm just here to look at the trees. I don't really want one in my house. All that hassle, a mess of pine needles and tar, the fire hazard, finding somebody to come haul it away once it's dead and useless. No, I just figured it's the season. Since I won't have a tree, I can at least come look at some.
Well, you came to the right place.
Indeed I did.
You aren't from these parts.
Well, that depends on how you define the boundaries. You and I are from the same planet, the same hemisphere even, maybe the same state, who knows? You see, the world is getting smaller.
Yeah, it's starting to get crowded in here.
Sometimes a girl should just go for an aimless drive. Nowhere to be, you can never be lost. You can't make a wrong turn, it's impossible to be late. It's when you set to looking for something that the frustration sets in. You never quite get to that thing you were after. At best, whatever you find is a pale imitation of the thing you wanted. A relaxing hour, not calm enough. A cup of coffee, too hot, too cold. A reasonably clean toilet. Well, at least there's such a thing.
Well, ma'am, I'm afraid I don't have any of that. Except maybe the coffee, and it would be stale at best.
I wasn't looking for that.
Yeah, what is it you're looking for?
Peace of mind.
None of that around here, ma'am.
No, of course there isn't.
As far as I can tell, everybody thinks they're crazy.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, everyone's right. Well, maybe the only things worth looking for are the things we'll never find. There's no disappointment that way.
You mean like Christmas itself? All hype, but the payoff isn't what they said?
Is that your sales pitch?
No. I'm no salesman. I just cut down the trees through the season for Mr. Clark.
You live here?
In a roundabout sort of way, I suppose.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Starting to see myself as a sharecropper roaming the earth in the new world.
Seeking Jesus in a manger.
Something like that.
And this Mr. Clark?
Never met the man. He just signs the check.
Well, I suppose it is better to be a wanderer in the new world than it has been in the old one.
Is that how you see yourself?
Me? No, I'm more of a never was from another world. I mean, who am I out here trying to gain the approval of? Does that even matter?
Folks spend a lifetime seeking the love and affection of a million strangers because they're too scared to accept it from those they hold close.
Well, I see somebody learned how to spin off an adage.
So, looking forward to Christmas?
Me? No, I'm a Jew.
My mistake.
No, I'm not, actually. I just tell people that this time of year to fend off Christmas questions. Nowadays, that heads them off right quick. Ho, 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 I'm a Jew. They'll knock that off right away. No, in fact, my mother raised me in the Episcopalian faith.
Oh, you're an Episcopalian.
No, I said she raised me that way. I'm done being raised. I'm risen, you might say, like Christ himself.
Episcopalian, huh?
Yeah, they're a bunch of deadbeats. Lifeless piety masking concealed perversions, a whole lot of them. If the Jews are God's chosen people, the Episcopalians are his frozen people.
Well, me, I was raised an atheist. Real one, too. My parents had books on it all over the house. I was told to leave the under God part out when we said the Pledge of Allegiance in school.
Godless heathens. That was a joke.
It's funny me ending up being a Christmas tree farmer and all, isn't it?
Well, maybe not. You might be just the right guy for the job. You never found out firsthand what a shit show it all is. Like you said, all hype. Now, in my house, we celebrated. It was a big affair. The decorations, the food, and some unspoken promise that for one day everyone would stay home and everything would be good. Except when it got there, it was just me, alone, in my room, ignoring my mother's demands that I come play a little recital for the guests.
You mean piano?
Yeah, piano.
Oh, you play?
Once.
No more?
It bores me.
Boredom. That part of the human experience that folks don't talk about much.
That's true. Did you ever think that the part of the human experience that you hear the most about is not actually part of the human experience? It's all get married, get a job, buy some stuff, have kids, plan your retirement, and then sit and wait for spring and watch the flowers blossom. Where's the boredom in that? The desolation, the failure, the loss, the doom.
Well, they do talk about that.
Doom?
Well, death.
Oh, yeah, I suppose they do.
So what brings you all the way out to the Christmas tree farm if you're not looking to buy a tree?
I like the smell of pine.
It is nice.
I like it best when it's burning.
You aren't going to burn the farm down now, are you?
No, I'm just being a smartass. It's nothing to be proud of, for sure. Sadly, it's the only way I ever learned to interact.
Yeah, there's worse things.
That's what I think. I mean, at least I'm honest about it.
Honesty, dead art form.
Yeah?
As far as I can tell, everybody's full of shit in my experience.
Yeah. So, hey, what is it that brings you here?
I told you, I tend to the trees.
No, I understand that, but how did that come about? Surely this cannot all have been part of some master plan. You're not one of those imbeciles who had his whole career path mapped out at the age of 15, are you? Did you always hate trees, or is there something about hefting an axe that just really does it for you? Were you a big Paul Bunyan fan as a kid?
No, ma'am.
Well then,
There's a lot to that story.
tell me your secret and I'll tell you mine.
Let's just say I led a different life a lifetime ago.
Oh. If you weren't dealing in conifers right now, what would you be doing?
Magic.
Magic?
Yes, ma'am.
Like voodoo?
No, just magic.
But card tricks?
Yeah, something like that.
Tell me.
I had a future once. Suppose now I have a past. But I was on my way. When I was a boy, my mom took me to a magic show at the old fairgrounds. No big name, just some traveling performer. But the guy, he was good. Nothing fancy, cups and balls, rope, rings. He made things disappear with such ease. I suppose that's what drew me in. There was always so much I wanted to make disappear, and I couldn't figure out how he was making that happen. And I was young, maybe 5 or 6, but somehow I knew that nothing was actually disappearing. I understood it was a trick, but that didn't change anything. I wanted to know how he did that, how that guy made the impossible seem possible. So I went to the public library, I got some books, saved up my allowance money for 8 months, and sent away for a magic kit I saw advertised in a Green Lantern comic book. I practiced, I was driven, I knew, or I thought I knew, what I wanted to do with my life.
You should feel lucky. Most people don't figure out what they want to be. Ever.
Worked out a little 3-card Monte on the recess fields for the kids in class. Found myself with more and more friends as time moved on. Put together a show. By the time I got to junior high, I developed some real nice sleight of hand moves. Earned 2nd place in the junior high talent show.
Oh, who came in first?
Jenny Schultz. She did acrobats. The girl could jump in the air and flip herself right over, land on her head, her hands, her feet, any way you wanted it. I never had that kind of showmanship. I could do tricks, but I was no entertainer. Folks want to be entertained. So I worked on that. When I was a teenager, I started frequenting some of the local watering holes. I'd bring a deck of cards with me or maybe some coins. I figured drunks were an easy audience to work some things out on.
How sad.
They don't pay as close attention as regular folk, and they laugh a lot more and louder. And aside from the ones looking to get into a fight, they tend to be nicer than regular folk.
So what happened?
I got the sense I was being seen as some sort of sideshow misfit, some local guy with no real identity. It was just, hey Lonnie, come show us that trick you did. And that was it. No one wanted to be my friend anymore. They just wanted to see a trick, and then it was best if I went on my way. So, I started to feel like I was the punchline of my own joke, so I moved on.
To what?
But more like to where? I packed up and left town. Now, I wasn't one destined for college, and it just felt like I needed to see a bit more in the world. So I took my act on the road. I moved to the city, figuring someone there might see something in me I did not see in myself. But I had this strike against me from the very beginning. When I was a younger man, I bore a striking resemblance to Mylan Williams.
Oh.
Mylan, he was one of the founding members of the Commodores.
No.
They're an R&B group from the 70s.
No. I know who they are.
I understand you don't see it. Most people don't. But back then, someone showed me a picture. I held it up by my face and you would swear it was my twin. And folks in the city were more hip. I would roll into a bar looking to show off some coin tricks and somebody would inevitably ask me, "Are you Mylan Williams?" And I'd tell them no, and they wouldn't want nothing to do with it. They didn't want to see my silly trick. And the excitement of politicking with a celebrity, a music star, was a hell of a lot more interesting than watching some nobody make a coin disappear under a water glass. That was the summer of 1977. That Hot on the Tracks record was big news. Folks walking around the streets humming the break to Just to Be Close to You. As I rolled in this place one night, this guy straight out asked me, "Hey, you're Mylan Williams." And I had this uncle who used to always say, "Give the people what they paid for." So this night I did. "Yes, sir, I'm Mylan Williams." We called his pals over in a hurry. Soon everyone was bugging me for a song. I offered them a trick instead, figuring I could backdoor my way into some notoriety. Like I could make a name for myself as a guy who looks just like Mylan Williams and does magic tricks at the bar. That's something they'll remember, I thought. They declined. They did not want to see a trick. They wanted a song. They begged and pleaded with me. Got worse as the drinks flowed on. "Please, Mylan, give us a song."
So why didn't you just sing them a song? Give the people what they paid for.
"I can't carry a tune to save my life, ma'am. I made up some story about having a record contract that doesn't allow me to sing in public for free." The crowd, they were as dumb as a box of powdered pudding, because they bought it. These knuckleheads started running around the bar collecting money, stuffed it in one of those Blue Crown Royal bags like my grandmother used to do with the Scrabble tiles. Well, by now I was running out of ways out of my life. So I asked everyone if I could have a moment to warm up before I sang. I took the money, snuck out the back door, and I ran like hell.
Where did you go?
Here and there. Did a stint in the Marine Corps. Years later, came back. Took work where I could find it, shared a trick or two when the opportunity presented itself. But folks weren't much interested in the kind of magic I had to offer.
"How much for the whole lot?"
Pardon?
"The trees, young brother, the trees. God wants the trees."
You want to buy the land?
"No, my brother, just the trees. Seems like you have a few hundred. How much?"
20 grand.
"Oh, that seems like a lot, Miss Son."
Virginia Reed.
"Virginia Reed, rude of me not to introduce myself and wish you the best on this Christmas Eve. Parson Allen Clay, and I run the local parish in town. You two are business partners?
We are,
Yes.
yes, and the price is more than reasonable. There are a lot of trees here. Let's say 200 apiece for the first 100. Anything beyond that is a windfall for you.
What do you want to do with all these trees?
They're for the children.
What children?
The orphans.
Ooh, orphans, huh? I could go as low as 15 then.
Now hold on.
Come on, Lonnie, they're orphans.
Oh, I can see the two of you need to discuss. Let me go. I'll get my saw. If I put in a little labor, maybe we can knock a few dollars off of the price.
I can't have you in here negotiating the price, ma'am. I gotta handle my own business.
But I'm trying to help.
Help?
How much money did you make working on this tree farm last year?
$600.
$600. You're gonna make at least 20 times that here.
That old man doesn't have any money. I see him preaching on top of a milk crate behind the diner.
The Lord is everywhere.
He's a drunk old man. He means well, but he just likes to put on a show.
Well, give the people what they paid for. But look, he is of the cloth. You know, people will pay for that. Religious con men are some of the most credible in the eyes of your average sucker. So just think of this as the greatest trick you ever pulled. You can make all these trees disappear.
Do you realize how long that would take? To cut them all down and haul them away?
There are 225 orphan children in this county alone, and I've taken it upon my parish to give them all a nice Christmas this year.
Because of a tree?
Well, it's a start.
A hole in the ground is a start.
It's also an end.
Oh, well said, my brother, well said. And your name?
You can call me Lonnie.
Lonnie and Virginia, and you two are partners.
These orphans that you speak of, why would they want a tree? What's special about a tree? A tree of their very own. You know, if they're from around here, there's plenty of trees to go around. There's no sense in chopping one down, hauling it away, and then leaving it for some orphan to pretend to care for while it slowly dies, which, by the way, it already has. This is why I hate Christmas.
Oh, hate Christmas? Seems you've forgotten the true meaning.
I haven't forgotten the meaning. It's that day when you get a lot of things and you don't have to pay for them. These orphans that you speak of, they don't want a dead tree. They want an Xbox.
Is that so? An Xbox. And what do you want, sir?
A piece of rope.
A piece of rope.
Yeah, I had one once. I lost it somewhere along the way.
And what do you intend to do with this rope?
It's his rope. That's his business.
Oh, indeed it is, ma'am. Indeed it is. It's just when I think of a piece of rope and a man alone in the country, might just let the sadness overrun his soul.
So, you hear rope and you immediately think noose?
Well, I've seen my share of sadness is all.
Oh, I'm fine. It's none of that. I got the normal amount of sadness as anybody else. The rope is for a trick I do. I haven't done it in years. Maybe a bit out of practice.
What kind of trick?
He's a retired magician.
Voodoo.
No.
There's several, actually. I can tie it in a knot and slide the knot right off. I can cut it in half and put it back together. I can loop the ends around and connect them and make a full circle.
I don't understand.
We'll find a piece of rope you can show him. Show us.
Now be careful of these deceitful ways. As amusing as they may seem, sleight of hand, it can lead to a vexing of the spirit.
Horse shit.
I'm better with cards these days anyhow. Keep a deck in the cabin, practice some, helps pass the time.
The devil's deck. Godless heathens. Not a joke.
You cut that out. Run and get your cards and come back and show us what you're talking about.
I don't like this.
A little tug on the old Jesus juice will help it go down smooth. Well, how do you like that? Well, that devil talk is no joke. Eternal damnation right in front of our eyes. Oh, hey, give me that bottle. If this is the end, I'm going out on a high.
Well, friends be friends, but this is this.
It's kids. Playing with matches, that's all. There's a row of gas well tanks down the gravel road. This kind of thing isn't that uncommon around here.
Orphans?
Of some sort, I suppose.
Were you?
Figuratively speaking, we're all orphans. There's something about being human on this planet you can't run from.
And what is that?
Might sound harsh, but you're all alone. You can have your friends, your family, your good times, your thoughtful times, but each of us has to figure that out for himself.
And you want to give these people a highly flammable dead tree? Now who's playing with the devil's fire?
Shouldn't one of us go and see that no one's been injured?
The fire died down in a minute. There's no gas left in there. The locals siphoned it off years ago.
That flame is strong.
Is that from a sermon?
Why?
Sounds religious.
I really would feel better if one of us went to see that everyone is safe.
What everyone? Some delinquent lit a match and ran.
Still, I would feel better, and delinquents are God's children too.
So go look.
Well, I would, but the gout. It's been catching up to me lately.
Yeah, I see. This is what gets me about you holy roller types, always trying to get someone to do something that you yourself cannot.
Oh, no, it's fine. I'll go back there and look. Some of the trees might have caught fire. Could be bad. It's been dry this season. You folks wait here. I'll be right back.
Oh, God, what is that? Well-brand rye?
Home brew, Miss Virginia. Home brew.
It's awful.
Well, it's almost Christmas.
It will all be over soon.
Your family?
I'm an orphan.
Oh, you want a tree?
So how exactly were you planning to get all these trees to all those orphans?
Well, I hadn't figured that out yet, and if I had, I probably would have turned back.
Why's that?
Any great undertaking.
Oh, like the Trees for Orphans initiative?
Exactly. We all have things that come to us to do, and at first it seems daunting. We may fail before we even get started. I suppose I always meant to do great things, but I got lost along the way. I couldn't do the good things on the way that led to the great at the end. The hell with the trees. It's the forest that's got me by the throat. All I needed was one tree, but I couldn't find my way. I couldn't find my way from the center of the forest. I couldn't get away from the edge of the woods. I suppose I pictured myself just carrying that tree in my bare hands, one by one, delivering it to those in need, like that was going to save the day, like the Lord himself, climbing the cross up the mountainside.
I was thinking more like Santa and his sleigh.
Well, that's probably a better analogy. I guess what I'm really trying to say is I spent my whole life looking for God, and the problem was I couldn't even see where he was in the first place. Is everyone all right?
I didn't see anyone. Some of the trees along the back property line caught fire. It's pretty isolated, but the wind tends to pick up this time of day. I should go in and call the fire department.
But I thought you said the flames were going to burn down. It seems to be burning brighter.
That was my point, sir.
Maybe it's a Christmas miracle. Like that time when they thought that lamp was going to run out of oil, but then it just kept burning for days and days.
That's Hanukkah.
Oh. See, what did I tell you?
I'm gonna go in the cabin and call the fire department. Y'all keep an eye on that flame, will ya?
Oh, that is rich.
What's that?
Spending the holidays in a field of burning Christmas trees. If Mama could see me now.
Oh, so you do have family.
What is it with you and that?
Family?
Fine. Yes, I have a mother. I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm not Jesus.
Well, Jesus had a mother.
And he probably disappointed her too.
And what was that?
Oh, she must have wanted him to be a good little boy. Go to Hebrew school, get a good job. But he screwed that right all to hell, didn't he? And now here we are lamenting the very Christmas trees we have somehow come to associate with him. But that's fine, disappointing your mother. We all do it.
Well, my mother kicked me out of the house when I was 16. Still haven't caught up with her yet. What's your gripe?
When I was a girl, I played the piano. I had a recital once at the Branch River Music Hall. Hundreds of people in attendance, and I played Liszt's La Campanella in G-sharp minor.
That's a beautiful piece of music.
Yeah, I played it perfectly too. And when it was over, the crowd roared with applause. And there was my mother, standing off to the side of the stage, just beaming with pride.
Wonderful memory.
Except I couldn't stand that she was proud. There was something about that beaming. It was almost as if she were proud, not of me, but of herself. I had noticed this very early on. Like it was my duty on this globe to do right by her, as if it were my job to make her feel good about what she had created. And I don't want to be anybody's work. I preferred the way she'd look at me when I got caught smoking cigarettes out behind the middle school. Or when the cops showed up at our house because I was caught on camera shoplifting at the 7-Eleven. And then she'd give me that look. And that look made me feel for once like I had accomplished something.
Well, any motion is forward motion, no matter the results.
That's an odd thing for a man in your line of work to say.
Hey, what work?
You're of the cloth.
Or maybe I am the cloth, cleaning up the stain after the spill. Is everyone all right?
The trees are on fire. The path to the cabin, it's blocked.
Is there no way out?
No. The gas tanks are that way, and the cabin is that way. So there's that way, and there's that way.
Godless heathens. You figure it out.
It's spread all around us.
It would seem so.
We're like the three wise men, following the light across the northern sky. Only we're the light, not the wise.
Well, how about that? Looks like we're gonna make all these trees disappear after all, huh, Lottie? Well, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Well, you said you like the smell of burning pine.
I do. Feels like home.
We should exchange gifts.
I'm afraid I have nothing to give.
Well, the gift comes from the heart, man.
You said you wanted a rope.
Well, thank you. Matt Rieger in the house. Stick around for the Grumpy Cabaret. Right away, Grumpy.
I was in Portland visiting a friend and his family. Even attended Quaker meetings, a couple of them, with the family, but that's another story. He, my friend, Frank, took me on a flight to San Francisco, a city that he lived in for a while before he became a lawyer and moved up to Portland. Frank grew up in Cabrini Green and wanted to use his law degree to help other people. beautiful San Francisco was a gloomy city that day, more overcast and more, what's that word, cooler than ever, than usual. And Frank was down, depressed. I learned later he is chronically depressed. We look up from the Presidio at the Golden Gate Bridge, and I mentioned that we could take a walk over the bridge to Marin. That would lift the gloom when we reached Sunny Sausalito. I was sure it was it would work for Frank. Sunny Marin County, always lifted my mood when I spent the year there teaching my first job out of college. And the sun did lift Frank out of the depths and into the bald hills. I was sure it would, and it did. I went on this trip. I called it my healing journey because I expressed discomfort in the lymph glands and my armpits, and my hypochondria kicked in. Zoe Keithley had told me about a guy in Boulder who had cured himself of cancer by drinking wheatgrass and settling in for a while at Mount Shasta. So after we explored a bit of the Bay Area, I took off for Boulder, Frank for Portland, and I'll leave Frank anonymous at this time at least. Jim Goldman was from NYC and had set up a reflexology practice after leaving California. Zoe got me together work with Diane Doe, who had married and moved to Boulder, where her husband lived and owned a very cool bookshop, both in looks and in books and other stuff for sale. These people were amazing. They took me out a couple of miles to their adobe cottage nestled against a big hill. Let me stay in this house when they put up somewhere else for a few days. They lent me a car. This actually all happened. And I drove back and forth to Boulder and to Jim Goldman's home and office. I entered the house. The door was open. Entered the kitchen, wheatgrass and a few fruit juice bottles on the counter. Jim appeared and ushered me into his office, invited me to sit in this wonderful chair he told me was designed by Corbusier.
Wow.
He really did, yeah. It was comfortable as a cloud. He laid down a white towel near my feet. He brought in a bowl of water, and he slowly, carefully washed my feet. I felt at the center of an ancient ritual, perhaps out of the Bible. Piped-in music played as he moved subtle fingers to pressure points on my toes, balls of my feet, and heels. His normal-looking fingers felt at times like thin, sharply pointed instruments, producing a subtle shock, but little pain. The music took over and cast a spell. Kind of new age, but not. Philip Glass? No. Adams? No. After while, the bubble bursts. What was that? Carlos Nikkei. I know, kinda. Native American, recorder music, mountain to mountain, everywhere. He's playing in Boulder tonight. I'm going. And I did. Managed to get a ticket for what seemed to be sold-out house, and ran back into Jim Goldman there. The next day we talked about wheatgrass. You want to try it with grape juice? Yeah, I guess. Never thought of mixing wheatgrass with. Why not? Don't know. So, a little later, he gave me a cassette tape to listen to at home. He said, bring it back and we'll talk about it tomorrow. I actually found a cassette player at Diane's house and played it. About 25 people, 2 minutes each, talked about the joys and benefits of drinking urine. The next day, I returned the cassette and said, I don't know. Up to you. He did mention that urine is sterile, and that all of us, swam around for about 9 months before we were officially born in that urine. It was then and there I decided to go ahead and try it. He told me, you piss off a bit into the toilet or urinal or on the ground before you drink some. The first time I told people about the trip was at Lynx Hall. Must have been in the late 80s or early 90s, something like that. I demonstrated the procedure that night. I turned my back on the audience.
No. Yes.
No, I don't have a bottle tonight. But I took a piss then. And then I brought out the bottle. And then I drank it. Tasted the same as I had that morning. I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm too old to go out there and buy a glass. Too old. So, this was all an introduction to a piece on urinals. I got really fascinated. Oh, you know, I mean, at the show in Paris in 1912, Marcel Duchamp took this urinal from somewhere and put it on display. So there's, it's not just me that's fascinated. But the fascination actually started when I looked down and the mats, that replace the cakes. They started to show some design sense. They started to look pretty good. I thought, boy, this is good. There's something developing here. And I think they realized they had something too because they removed their logos. So all you had was a mat, and they were usually displays of you know, a kind of, what do you call it? That's the trouble with all this. I can't remember a damn thing. But anyway, that's all for another night, when I remember to bring the bottle. Thanks a lot.
Barry Lohman.
So this is something that I recently went through, and it's called Open Heart. I've been sitting here on the edge of my bed now for about 2 hours, debating whether to take myself to the emergency room or not. And these two words keep bubbling up to the top of my brain. Cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest. That means your heart stops. All my fantasies about packing a little bag and calling an Uber are going to die hard, along with me, right here on my bedroom floor. So I pack a little bag, call an Uber, and take myself to the emergency room at Swedish Covenant Hospital. Now, if you walk into an ER and you say anything that includes the words chest pains, you are immediately crowned emergency room royalty. No waiting for you, Your Highness. No, you are instantly escorted to your regal sickbay, presented with a kingly hospital gown with all the ventilation in the back. And you don't go down to X-ray. No, X-ray comes to you, Your Majesty. They had called my cardiologist, and he shows up about 6 in the morning. He wedges me into his already packed schedule, and I'm his first procedure, an angiogram, first procedure of the day. And afterwards, he tells me they found a blockage of 98% in one of my coronary arteries. 98%. They measure it that precisely. Now, you might have figured out 98% is pretty high. And that gives you some pretty major bragging rights. So I guess I'm bragging here just a little bit. So, anyway, so back to that. So he finds the blockage, he cleans it out, and then he installs a stent to keep the artery open, a little tube. And in a day or so, I'm ready to go home. 2 weeks later, I'm in the outpatient cardiac rehab program with a group of people. We meet 3 times a week, walk on the treadmill a little bit, do some very light weights, do some stretching. The weight's coming down, the blood sugars are coming down. I'm feeling healthier and more vital than I have for a really long time. And then, one day, I'm on the treadmill, I'm warming up, and I go to increase my speed a little bit, and I'm feeling just a tiny, little tiny bit of pain. More of a fluttering, really. But they stop me immediately, and they send me upstairs to my cardiologist's office. He picks up the phone, calls over to the cardiac inpatient unit in the hospital, and gets me a bed. He's admitting me right there and then. No, you can't go home and pack a little bag.
You get right over there. Do you need a wheelchair? I'm like, I'm feeling fine. No, I can walk. Well, then get over there. They're expecting you. So I make my way over there. I announce myself at the nursing station. I believe I have a reservation, woman. They were expecting me. They show me to my room. They issue me one of those breezy back gowns. And the very next day, I have my second angiogram. And this time, my cardiologist tells me that there was a blockage in the stent. And in addition to that, he found blockages in 2 other coronary arteries. And he recommends triple bypass surgery. He says that it's the long-term fix for somebody as young as me. I'm 70-something. He's flattering me into having open heart surgery. So I meet the surgeon that day. He runs some preliminary tests. We schedule it for about a week out. It's not an emergency. So the day of surgery, I remember showing up at the kind of surgery prep area of the hospital, and again they issue me one of the backless gowns, but they say this time, be sure and remove everything. Everything. Do you wear dentures, contact lenses? Do you have any prosthetics, implants, piercings? Now I had, never mind. So I do remember, what do I remember? I remember kind of being hooked up to, they put an IV thing in each arm, and then they put some fluids in a bag, and then I maybe remember like being wheeled into the operating room. And then, oh my God. I am gradually regaining consciousness. And I feel like I've been hit by a truck. Now, mind you, I've never really been hit by a truck. What had happened was, they cut me open, they sawed my breastbone in half, they spread my rib cage apart, they hooked me up to a heart and lung machine, they stopped my real heart and lungs so that they weren't moving and that my surgeon could perform the delicate 5-hour procedure, where he harvested a pretty good length of a pretty good artery from my leg and he grafted it onto my heart, bypassing the 3 blocked arteries. Now, triple bypass gives you a much higher bragging status than a double or a paltry single bypass. Anyway, so the grafting part, you know, quite a trick, but they're not done yet. Now they have to disconnect the machines, restart my heart and lungs, wire my breastbone back together, and stitch and glue my skin back together over that. And then they left me under the sweet, sweet death of the anesthesia until the next day, just to give my traumatized body a chance to have some peaceful rest before the big awakening. The awakening is brutal. My back, my chest, my ribs are in so much pain. I feel like I'm choking on the tube they put down my throat. I think the worst part, though, was the dire thirst. I hadn't had even a sip for over 36 hours, and I was parched. Water, water, my kingdom, for a drop of water. So I'm coming to, and I'm surrounded by hazy people who I assume are doctors and nurses. They're telling me I'm in ICU, that the surgery went really well, that everything's going to be okay. They're going to remove the tube in just a little bit. So I try to relax when they take the tube out of my throat, but I feel like I'm choking. I take deep breaths as they're removing the tubes from my chest, and they make a disturbing ratcheting sound. And then they were out. Over the next 2 weeks, every day I got just a teeny little tiny bit better. And those little bits add up, don't they? After a week, I qualified to be transferred to the inpatient rehab unit, where there I focused on physical rehab with Todd, and he just got me moving, helped me build up some strength. OT with Deshani, and she made sure that I could complete all of the tasks needed in order to send me home and be, fully independent. I have to say, I'm a model patient. I did everything that I was told with enthusiasm, gratitude, and humor. One day, I was feeling especially playful, and I decided I'm going to put a note on my door. I couldn't find anything to write the note. I found a ballpoint pen that was almost completely dried up, and I managed to scrawl my message on a scrap piece of paper, and I taped it to the door, welcoming anybody who might come in, doctors, nurses, whoever, to my not-so-private sanctuary. The note read very simply, "The patient will see you now." I thought it was funny too. I was so happy that Todd saw it and really appreciated it, because when I came back from physical therapy, the note was gone. I asked the nurse, what happened to my note? She said, I had to take it down because people were afraid to go into your room. Mission accomplished! It was the best reaction I could have imagined, really. I experienced so much humor and goodwill in my extended stay at the hospital, and I hugged every staff member when they released me to go home. As I said, I'm a model patient. But I could never, ever have gone through this adventure without the help of my friends, family, and the amazing staff at Swedish Covenant. And I could never have had the opportunity to present my story here without the generosity of Bo O'Reilly and the entire Curious Theater branch, and of course, you people. So I want to wish, on this grumpy Christmas cabaret, everybody a Merry, I want to wish each and every one of you your fill of all the grumpy anti-Christmas you desire and deserve.
Dick Richardson and Friends is next.
What's this place called?
I think it's called Worm Bar.
Oh, that's fun. Little different.
Yeah. It's a little different, little worm themed. It's fun.
I'm Serenity. I'll be your waiter this evening. For starters, maybe a cucumber and infusion, Paula energy mix, or maybe some chicken thumbs.
I think me and my friend here will just be having drinks, thank you.
Yeah, I'm doing a thing right now. It's like a little diet thing. I just drink alcohol. No, it's working.
Okay, well.
Okay, so me and my friend here will be having a Tommy Hilfiger to start. Crescendo Supreme. Fubu Bar. How's that? You want a Fubu Bar? Mike and Ike's.
Oh, no.
Let's get some Mike and Ike's. Steak Juice, raw. And 4 signature cocktails.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. How's that? Just for like a start.
Yeah, just for right now. I think that's good for a
We
start.
can
If
get
we
more
want to, we can always get more
and
for one. This might not even be the
only
only
bar
we go to.
This isn't the only
Exactly.
bar
That's
we're
kind of
gonna
what
go
I
to
do at the same
tonight.
exact time.
That was good.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, homie?
I gotta tell you something.
Lay it on me, brother. Anything.
I know that I can lay anything on you.
You can.
I know I can.
Well, then lay it on me.
Okay, sure. Well, there's this. It's not so much something that I want to say to you as it's something that I want to give to you.
Oh, look here. Okay.
Thank you. Well, Christmas is such a special time. Time to spend with those you really love.
Christmas is a special time. It's a time to eat, drink, and be merry. A time to celebrate life's delights with those you love.
I love you, homie.
I love you too, homie.
Complimentary mints. Today marks a new world order. Those who serve will be at their place at the dinner table, and every bougie fuck is gonna get stabbed. Knives and other forms of mass destruction on your seats. I say all of us go out and riot. Workers of the Worm Bar, unite! You have nothing to lose but your chains! Oh, no knives. Okay. Sorry. You went a little overboard there. Trigger warning. Well, I guess we'll have the revolution again maybe next Christmas. Okay, see you.
Great gifts for men this season. For the man who loves pizzazz. The Progressive International PLA Pizzazz Wheel. For the guy who's always hot. The Vornado 660 fan. For the man who games on the go. The Dell Inspiron 15 gaming laptop. For the avid home chef, the Philips extra large air fryers. For the bookworm. The Kindle Paperwhite. For the man who loves meats. The master-built propane smoker. For the high-tech console gamer. The Xbox One X. And for the binge watcher, the Roku streaming stick plus. For the student, Acer Inspired E15 laptop. For the beer fanatic, the Danby Contemporary Classic Mini Fridge. For the year-round griller, the Cuisinart TG25 Griddler. For the man who dreams of flight, the Potensic T25 GPS drone. For the running man, the Fitbit Charger 3 wireless Fitbit Charger! Oh, for the guy who's just like a little bit anxious, just like a little bit anxious, just like a little bit anxious. The gravity blanket. For the beach bum, the JBL Flip 4 waterproof Bluetooth speaker. And for the guy who just likes a really good cup of coffee, the Sterling Pro French press. Thank you.
I don't see why you can't just help clean up a little bit.
Shut up! I'm watching the mutant basketball game.
Oy vey, we're hosting the first party after the apocalypse and you're watching mutant basketball.
Shut up! I can watch what I want. I killed the man who owned this HD TV, worn his skin I did, for 3 fortnights, as was the custom back then, which, did I enjoy? No, but put yourself in my position. He's also got this dog lying here, which I roast and ate, which, did I enjoy? No, but put yourself in my position. We got this dog lying here, what am I gonna do? Not eat it? I mean, geesh, but then again, that had its own problems. It brought about the cannibals. Knock, 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 knock. Hello, sir. I mean, this is your dog meat. Like, geesh, what are you doing? Cannibals are eating dog meat now?
It's even worse than it was last
diet. I just don't think that's fair. And furthermore, woman, are you ever listening to me? Do you even hear what I'm trying to say to you? Are you even listening? Do you even hear what I'm trying to talk to you about? My problems and my type of problems.
Surprise! You're here early.
I thought we'd pop on right over after visiting my parents.
And how are they?
They're good, thanks.
Oh, so good.
Oh, wonderful. Why don't we have take a seat, please? There's chips and guacamole somewhere. Hank is watching Mutant Basketball, which he said he would turn off when the guests arrive. So yeah. Why don't we just sit on the couch?
There's not enough room for us.
Oh, Hank, please. This is the only couch I could find that didn't have human bits on it still, okay?
Well, we want to say thank you so much for hosting.
Yeah, so sweet.
Yeah, and also for making this whole, secret Santa thing not too Santa.
You know, it's really important to us that's mostly non-denomination.
It's really important to us.
Well, it's not like I could find a Christmas tree. Nothing grows anymore.
Well, if we have nothing else to say, why don't we just get right into it?
Great idea. What do you think, Hanky?
Yeah.
I'll go first. Hank? I was your secret Santa.
Okay.
Look what I made for you.
Oh. Whoa, this is really nice. It's well made and rubbery and fleshy. It's a human skin wallet.
Yes, but that's not the best part. Look what I carved into the skin.
Burberry. It's a Burberry human skin wallet. Oh, this is just so. Okay, my turn.
Oh, sweetheart.
No, let's get you. Okay, so this is for you.
For me? For you? Oh, Hank. Oh my God. A Jeffree Star makeup kit. Oh, Hank, thank you so much. You must have heard me complaining about how all the makeup stores blew up.
All the makeup was made from right here in town with local blood and waste and sludge.
This is so sweet. Baby, this is so fun. Look, it even says right here on the label, Jeffree Star. Hank, this is the sweetest thing I've ever seen. Thank you so much. Well, I guess it's my turn. Just right underneath the old. Okay. I left it right here last time.
Oh,
Was it?
the pipe.
Oh, it's a Gucci Couture pipe.
Oh my God, sweetheart!
Oh, it has the logo carved in with a knife. Oh,
It's so nice. Where did you even have the time to
Here I go too. Girls know what girls want.
all right. Now it's my turn. Okay. All right. I went a little different this year. I hope you don't mind. This is for both of you.
An IKEA gift card?
Wow! You know they got one at the Warlord State of Milwaukee now.
Well, we are going to have to take a day trip.
This is gonna spruce up our new apartment so nice.
So great.
I'm so glad we killed the couple that was originally living
Oh my
there.
God, they were just like living in our house.
Like living in our house.
Okay, I gotta say something. I know I can kind of be a curmudgeon sometimes, but I just gotta say, I'm having a really great time tonight.
Oh my God. You know, I think the fact that we shelled out on all these expensive gifts makes you think maybe that life is worth living. And Christmas, holiday parties are worth having. Oh, we got some dope gifts. You know, I think society is going to be all right.
And after that, they all got really hammered off some booze Hank had made out of fermented lingonberries and gasoline. And when they all woke up hungover in the alley the next morning, they all agreed that it really was the best holiday party anyone would ever throw, ever. Because by next holiday season, they were all consumed by the plague. The end.
Card Captor Sakura. Check it out, it's an anime.
Violet.
Yeah. Oh my god. We got some dope gifts. Holy fucking shit. So I don't really give a fuck about Christmas. It's like, not like an active like distaste or anything. I just like, it's more of an ambivalence. I mean, I love Jesus, like I really do. Like, you know, he's got really good things to say, like shitty things to say about rich people. He's also kinky as hell, which I also love. That didn't go over last night either. Oh well. I thought it was great. But you know what he really is about is that more love, not less vibe, and I really dig that. So, I'm gonna play I Love You, and this is a song from Hotel Violet that's coming up. Ask me about it. I won't stop talking about it. Trap bites down, claps around your leg, and every breath is ugly sound. Wow. Love to stay and protect you from the sun's going down. Keep on chewing, baby. A part of you's not coming out. Trap or a boric shooting star, some typical nightmare screaming Doppler out so far. How can you escape it when it is what you are? It shows you where you're holding, baby. I'll wait for you a while out in the car. I
fabulous. Steak, would you just throw me that water bottle? We're gonna do it. Sports. Just throw it to me. Yeah! Oh, right? I played T-ball. Not because I wanted to. So I have literally one tradition for Christmas, because there's like a lot of things you could do. And they all just kind of bum me out, because I don't really talk to my family very much anymore. So it's like, the one thing I do every Christmas is listen to Bone Machine by Tom Waits, like all the way through. And I smoke a lot of weed. So that's gonna be no exception this year. But I just thought I'd share part of Bone Machine, which is a really fucking good album by Tom Waits. It got I got a Grammy for it. So good, so weird. And sad. What does it matter? Dream of love or a dream of lies? We're all gonna be in the same place when we die. Your spirit don't leave knowing your face or your name. And the wind through your bones is all that remains, and we're all gonna be. All gonna be, all gonna be, all gonna be. Dirt in the ground, a quill from a buzzard. Blood writes the word. I wanna know, am I the sky or the bird? 'Cause hell's boiling over and heaven is full. We're chained to the world and we all gotta pull, and we're all gonna be, yeah, all gonna be. The killer's face was smiling, nerves made of stone. He climbed up the stairs and the gallows groaned, and the people's hearts were pounding. They were throbbing and they were red. As he swung out over the crowd, I heard the hangman say, we're all gonna be, yeah. Sky cracked open, the thunder groaned along the river of flesh. Can these dry bones live? Ask a king or a beggar, the answer he'll give is we're all gonna be, yeah, all gonna be. Yeah.
Can we do one more?
Yeah.
This is just a feel-good song that makes me feel good, and I love it, and so I want to share it with you guys. Is that funny? That was funny, but the Jesus and the whips. And... Alright. You guys are a tough audience, you guys. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. Circling all around the sun. What a beautiful dream that would flash on the screen in a blink of an eye and be gone from me. Soft and sweet, let me hold it close and keep it here with me. But in one way they will die, and our ashes will fly from an aeroplane over the sea. But for now we are young, let us lay in the sun and count every beautiful thing we can see. Love to be in the arms of all I'm keeping here with me. We're found here tonight. There's music that sounds from the street. There are lights in the clouds, Anna's ghost all around. Hear her voice as it's rolling and ringing through me. Soft and sweet, how the notes all bend and reach above the tree. Through your mouth, make those muscles move and make your voice so smooth and sweet. But now we keep where we don't know. All secrets sleep in winter clothes, like one you loved so long ago. Now he don't even know his name. In this place that is circling all around the sun. And when we meet on a cloud, I'll be laughing out loud. I'll be laughing with everyone I meet. Can't believe how strange it is to be anything at all. Thanks, everybody.